The Stanford Digital Libraries Project does research within the Stanford University Computer Science Department in conjunction with industrial affiliates such as Xerox PARC. The Digital Libraries Project is not about scanning millions of documents. It is concerned with access to widely distributed digital documents, library services beyond simply acquiring documents, and system architecture that affords uniform use of distributed document services. Delight is a novel user interface concept for distributed document collections and services. It is an interaction prototype, not a polished graphical user interface, and it is a front end to an evolving variety of distributed document services. Delight uses direct manipulation, drag and drop, and object animation to create a close connection among users and documents. Delight also uses the Netscape web browser for some user interactions and for presentation of results. The underlying software architecture and implementation are provided by the Stanford University Infobus research prototype. Users use and may create work centers consisting of a set of objects called components needed for a particular task. We select a very simple work center for a World Wide Web search task. This work center contains components that represent capabilities for web search. We see a query creator and several search components. Each search component is labeled with its name and indicates whether it is currently available. We can type a search string into the query creator and invoke it. The component emits a query object, an iconic representation of the query. By simply dragging the query and dropping it onto a search component, that search service is invoked on the query. The search component emits a document collection object. The search, of course, takes some time. As results arrive, the collection fills with document icons. The collection now contains the top 20 web pages from the search. Clicking on a document icon brings meta information about the document into the Netscape browser. Clicking on the collection background brings abstracts for all documents into the browser. Clicking on the numbers brings additional found documents into the collection. Let's look at object animation in Delight. Notice that a query dropped on a search service moves to join the result emitted by the service. Any document in a collection can be copied off by dragging a copy of its icon out of the collection. Animation is also used as a progress indicator. Here we drop a scanned text document onto a text recognition service. The document animates downward when it is accepted by the service. Successful recognition results in the document and its new recognized text document sliding to the right. Failure is indicated by the document sliding left. Finally, watch what happens when an object is dropped onto a component that cannot process that object type. The object scurries back to where it came from. This is a schematic diagram of the Infobus system architecture. Document services such as search, automatic summarization, text recognition, and others are available via networks using a variety of protocols. For each service, a proxy program is written that uses the specialized protocol for its service and also exports an Infobus standard interface to that service. Within work centers, component programs receive user actions, issue requests, and receive results from proxies. In addition, work center programs are responsible for display and animation of their visual component in one or more coordinated work center views. Delight offers some Workcenter templates with components for common tasks. Let's select a template for a tedious task, compiling and formatting the reference section for a conference paper. For example, in this paper, we have a reference to a paper by Ed Fox about his Envision system. Here's an opportunity to use the Folio document abstract service. A bibliographic query constructor can specify title, author name, and subject. Just as before, we create a query, drop it onto the Folio component, and await the results. We click on the result collection and examine two similar papers, choose the latest version, and mark it for reference. We repeat the process for 3 additional citations. We have the documents of interest in separate document collections, but we want a nicely formatted bibliography, so we turn to interbib. Our interbib component accepts a document collection, which we construct by dragging copies of our hot documents into a new collection component. We drop the collection onto the interbib component, which shortly emits a bibliography ready for insertion into our paper. It's clear that Delight is not a walk-up-and-use interface. We're experimenting with progressive disclosure, or holophrastic, component sets that can guide a user through a particular task. Here's a sketch of components that could guide a walk-up user through a simple task. As each step is clicked, it expands to provide detailed instructions and components, which can later be collapsed by the user as the task progresses. Delight is a work in progress by Stanford University doctoral candidate Steve Cousins. Steve spent the summer of 1996 at Xerox PARC in the Graphics and Interaction Research Group. New interface ideas, components, and services were jointly developed at Xerox.